5 teams from the A-10 made the big dance last year. What do you think of their prospects this season?
Yeah, well, it's another good year for the A-10. There's 4 teams that are solidly in and then 3 on the bubble. St. Joe's, Dayton, which is one of the last 4 in, and if that turns out to be true, they get to play a home game. And then Richmond just on the outside looking in. Now, St. Joe's has had a pretty good year. They've won at Dayton, which is kind of what separates them from these other 2. Plus, they only have 1 bad loss against Temple, which is, of course, a big city rival. Dayton also has shown they can win away from home. They beat Gonzaga and they beat Arkansas in Maui, and those games are going to stand up well for them. They've lost some opportunities at home where they really could have taken advantage and pushed themselves well in. But Richmond is a home court hero. They've got 6 wins in the top 100, but every single one of them on their home floor. They're now playing without their top scorer, Cedric Lindsey. I think it's more of an uphill climb for them just because of their circumstance.
Richmond, the most intriguing team out of all of them you talked about in the A-10, I think, because with Lindsey gone, how Kendall Anthony's responded has been most intriguing to me. Yes, they're great at the home court, but I think if they can win out the rest of the regular season, this is another team that could go far, possibly to the finals of that A-10 tournament. I had a chance to do one of their games. I love what they do defensively. I love how everybody steps up on any given night. There's a lot of balance. With Lindsey gone and how Anthony stepped up, I think that team's for sure a tournament team.
Well, we'll have to see. They have to earn their way in, and they're going to have to earn their way in by beating somebody of tournament quality within this league off of their home floor.
Coach Moody's a heck of a coach.
Jerry, in the Big Ten, how do you size up Minnesota and Nebraska, where they stand, where they're headed?
Yeah, I mean, these teams are really even. Nebraska did win the head-to-head matchup, but it was a close game at Nebraska, so that's not really decisive.
Talk about a home court hero.
Yeah, but they did win at Michigan State, though. So that's huge. And Minnesota won at Richmond. So these 2 teams have shown they can win away from home, but they've really, Minnesota has playing their way down, Nebraska's playing their way up. But Nebraska, looking ahead short term, has only got games that can hurt them until the season finale at home against Wisconsin. Minnesota's got games that can help them starting this week at home with Iowa.
Talk about 2 coaches who've done phenomenal jobs in Minnesota and Nebraska. Coach Miles and Coach Pitino, both guys who both thought these 2 programs wouldn't be doing anything. Incredibly relevant right now.
Yeah, Miles might actually be the coach of the year in the Big Ten. He's done a terrific job at Nebraska.
Oh, that's your bold statement.
There you go. Well documented, JC's affinity with BYU. Where do the Cougars stand?
Well, right now on the outside and pretty far out, and the reason for that is a number of bad losses. They've got 4 bad losses in their league, and it's really 4.5 because they also lost to Utah, which is a borderline top 100 team, and that's the cut line for a bad loss. And they just haven't done enough to make up for it. They did beat Texas. That's a nice win.
Beat Gonzaga.
Yeah, but Gonzaga may not make the tournament as an at-large team either because Gonzaga is sliding, and they don't have a win over a sure tournament team, but they did beat BYU at home. So they split home and home.
So you don't think Gonzaga is a tournament team?
I don't. Gonzaga may not be if they don't win this league because you're talking about at least 1 more probably bad loss for Gonzaga. And so, that's a deal. Look, if you don't beat anyone else in the field, what's your case for being in?
That's a great point. St. Mary's is another team people have flirted with. Are they on the bubble or are they not? I think that's another team that's clearly do not have anywhere even sniffing anything.
But you know what?
Right
Gonzaga now, they've lost at BYU. They lost at San Diego. That's another bad loss over the weekend. Now they've got 2 more road games. Pacific and their St. Mary's, which is a big rivalry game. Those are not easy road trips. And for a team like Gonzaga that's on the slide right now, they really got to get it turned around.
Tell me this, Jerry. What does BYU have to do in the tournament? Do they have to win the conference tournament?
Yeah, anything short of that is probably not going to be enough.
I believe that's an Elite 8 team if they get into the tournament, right?
Well, I'll take that bet.